dive. Today, we're diving into the world of call centers.
We're going way beyond the ringing phones and those hold music
Yeah.
serenades.
To uncover the metrics that really matter.
Yeah, we'll be your guides to understanding these key performance indicators.
Peeling back the layers to see how they connect to customer experience.
The effectiveness.
And ultimately business success.
Exactly.
We've got a great document lined up for you today.
Mm-hmm.
It's titled Top Call Center Metrics to Track for Success.
Right.
Whether you're a call center veteran or just curious about what makes these operations tick,
Yeah.
this deep dive is all about equipping you with the knowledge to analyze
Mm-hmm.
and potentially even improve call center performance.
I think it's so fascinating how these metrics can seem like just numbers on a screen,
Right.
but they actually reveal a lot about the customer journey
Yeah.
and the inner workings of a successful call center.
It's like having a secret decoder ring to really understand what's going on. So let's jump right in with one of the most crucial metrics. First, call resolution,
Right?
or as it's commonly known, FCR.
FCR.
I'm sure we've all been on the customer side of this one.
Absolutely.
You call in with a problem, hoping to get it sorted out quickly.
Right.
And when that actually happens,
Like magic.
it feels like
Heck yeah.
magic.
Yeah.
Like, okay, great, I can move on with my day.
Absolutely. That feeling of problem solved, I can move on with my day, that's the magic of a high FCR.
Yeah.
But it's not just about a happy customer in that moment.
Right.
High FCR rates have this ripple effect on the entire operation.
I can see that. Fewer repeat calls, less strain on resources.
Totally.
What are some of the less obvious benefits?
Well, think about agent training.
Okay.
When agents are constantly dealing with these repeat calls,
Right.
it limits their exposure to more diverse inquiries.
Makes sense.
So a high FCR rate, that frees them up to handle a wider range of issues,
Okay.
becoming more well-rounded in their expertise.
Right.
It also creates, let's face it, a more positive work environment.
Yeah.
Because dealing with frustrated customers, calling back multiple times,
Right.
is not exactly uplifting.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. It's easy to fixate on the immediate customer interaction,
Yeah,
but the impact on agent experience is huge too.
huge.
Okay, so we've got customers feeling good,
Mm-hmm.
agents feeling good.
Yeah.
What about the business as a whole?
Let's bring it to the bottom line.
How does FCR impact the bottom line?
It's all about efficiency.
Okay.
Fewer repeat calls, that translates into fewer resources needed.
Right.
Less time spent on the phone, less need for additional staffing.
Right.
And then those savings, well, those can be reinvested into other areas of the business,
Okay.
like improving technology
Yeah.
or providing even more specialized training for agents.
Wow, it's amazing how such a seemingly simple metric,
I know, right?
like resolving an issue on the first call,
Yeah.
can have such far-reaching impacts. Now let's shift gears to another critical factor, average handle time,
Okay.
or AHT.
HT.
So if FCR is about resolving issues completely,
Uh-huh.
AHT is about resolving them efficiently.
Efficiency.
It's a balancing act.
It is.
We want to keep calls concise without rushing the customer or sacrificing their experience.
Right. You don't want to just rush them off the phone.
Because just getting someone off the phone as quickly as possible
Right.
isn't a recipe for success.
Exactly.
I imagine this is where things can get a little tricky.
It's very tempting to just focus solely on reducing that AHT number.
Right.
But if that comes at the cost of customer satisfaction, or FCR,
Mm-hmm.
it can really backfire.
Yeah.
For example, imagine a call center that incentivizes agents solely based on short call times.
Okay.
What happens?
I can't really see where this is going.
Agents might start rushing through calls,
Right.
providing incomplete solutions just to hit their targets.
Yeah.
This leads to, you guessed it, more repeat calls. And it just negates any efficiency gains from the shorter AHT.
It's like this vicious cycle.
Totally, yeah.
So how do you strike that balance?
That's the question.
How can you improve AHT without sacrificing quality?
It's about working smarter, not harder.
Okay.
Think about the tools and resources that are available to agents.
Okay.
A comprehensive knowledge base, for instance,
Right.
that can drastically reduce the time agents spend searching for information.
Yeah.
Streamlining internal processes is another key factor.
Makes sense.
If an agent has to jump through hoops to get a simple task done,
Uh-huh.
it adds unnecessary time to the call.
Right. Absolutely.
So instead of just measuring how quickly agents can work,
Yeah.
we should be looking at how we can empower them to work more efficiently.
Exactly.
Now, speaking of happy customers, let's talk about a metric that's all about their direct feedback: customer satisfaction.
Okay.
Or CSAE.
CSAC.
CSA is the most direct line we have to understanding how customers feel about their interaction with the call center. Absolutely, it really is.
It's a simple concept, but incredibly powerful when analyzed correctly.
It is.
I imagine a lot of companies just see that overall satisfaction score and call it a day.
Right, they're like, we're good.
But I'm sensing there's a lot more to it than meets the eye.
Right, you're spot on. CSC is most valuable when you dig into the nuances.
Okay.
Don't just look at the overall score, explore the trends.
Okay.
Are there particular days of the week or times of day when scores dip?
Right.
Are certain types of inquiries consistently receiving lower ratings?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Those patterns could point to some really valuable insights.
Huge.
Can you give me an example of how a call center might use those trends to improve?
Absolutely. Let's say a call center notices a consistent dip in CSAT scores on Monday mornings.
Okay.
Could indicate they're understaffed at that time,
Right.
leading to longer wait times and frustrated customers.
Right.
So they could then adjust their staffing strategy to address this, potentially even creating a dedicated team that's trained to handle the specific types of inquiries that tend to come in at that time.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's like using data to anticipate and proactively address customer needs.
Right.
Instead of just reacting after the fact.
Exactly. And that's the real power of CSA.
Okay.
It's not just a report card. It's a roadmap for improvement.
I like that. A
Yeah.
roadmap.
Yeah.
Now, while CSA focuses on the overall experience,
Mm-hmm.
there's another metric that speaks directly to a very specific pain point for customers. Service level.
Well, service level.
This one hits close to home.
Uh-huh.
I think we've all experienced the frustration of being stuck on hold,
Yes.
listening to that dreaded elevator music on repeat.
Or worse, the bad hold music.
Ah,
You know, it's out there.
it's definitely not a recipe for customer delight.
You're preaching to the choir.
Hmm.
Long wait times are universal frustration,
Yeah.
and they can really damage a company's reputation.
Yeah.
Service level is all about measuring and managing those wait times,
Okay.
ensuring that customers aren't left hanging for too long.
Right. No one wants to feel like their time isn't valued.
Exactly.
So how do call centers go about measuring and improving this?
Yeah.
Is it all about just throwing more agents at the problem?
While staffing is definitely crucial,
Right.
it's not quite as simple as just hiring more agents.
Okay.
It's about strategic workforce management,
Okay.
analyzing call volume patterns,
Mm-hmm.
forecasting those peak hours,
Right.
and ensuring that you have the right number of agents available
Yeah.
at the right times.
At the right times. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's about having the right people in place at the right time. That makes a lot of sense.
Mhm.
But what about those situations where you just can't avoid a little bit of a wait?
Right.
I've noticed some call centers are getting creative
Yeah.
with things like callback options
Sure.
or even like entertaining messages while you're on hold, instead of just the bad music.
Exactly. It's all about managing expectations.
Okay.
If you can give customers the option to hang up and have their call returned when an agent is free,
Right.
it takes the edge off that waiting experience.
Right.
And who knows, maybe a little humor or a well-placed piece of information while they're on hold
Right.
can actually turn a potentially negative experience into a positive one.
I love that. It's like they're saying, we know your time is valuable,
Yes.
so we're going to make this wait as painless as possible.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about resolving issues efficiently,
Mhm.
and we've talked about keeping those wait times manageable.
Right.
But what about measuring customer loyalty?
Okay.
That's where our next metric comes in.
Yeah.
Net Promoter Score,
Right.
or NPS.
NPS.
So NPS is all about going beyond satisfaction and
Right.
tapping into advocacy.
Advocacy. Yeah.
It's one thing for a customer to say they're satisfied with your service, but it's another thing entirely for them to be so impressed
Yes.
that they're willing to shout it from the rooftops.
Shout it from the rooftops.
Exactly. And in today's world of online reviews and social media,
Right.
those rooftop shouters can
Yes.
be incredibly valuable.
So valuable.
So how does NPS actually work? It's that simple would you recommend question, right?
That's it. It's about gauging the likelihood
okay.
of a customer recommending your company to others.
Right.
But the real magic happens when you dig deeper into the responses.
Okay.
Remember those promoters and detractors we mentioned earlier?
Yes.
NPS helps you identify and understand both groups.
Remind us again, who are the promoters and detractors?
All right, so promoters, those are your biggest fans.
Okay.
They're the ones who give those glowing reviews.
Yeah.
rave about your service on social media,
Right.
and enthusiastically recommend you to everyone they know.
Right.
Detractors, on the other hand,
Okay.
they're more likely to share negative experiences,
Right.
potentially discouraging others from doing business with you.
So it sounds like NTS gives you a pretty clear picture
Yeah,
of where you stand with your customers.
totally.
But it's more than just a vanity metric, right?
Right.
What can you actually do with that information?
That's the key. NPS is a goldmine of actionable insights.
Okay.
For example, you can analyze the feedback from those promoters
Mm-hmm.
to identify what aspects of your service are truly resonating with customers.
Makes sense.
This information can then be used to refine your training programs,
Okay.
highlight those positive elements in your marketing materials,
Right.
and even inform product development.
So you're using the voice of your happiest customers
Exactly.
to guide your business decisions.
I love that.
I love that. But what about those detractors? Is it
Yeah.
worth trying to win them over, or are they a lost cause?
You know, detractors, while not as fun to deal with as promoters,
Right.
can actually be incredibly valuable sources of information. Their feedback can help you identify pain points,
All right.
streamline processes,
Mm.
and ultimately improve the customer experience for everyone.
Okay.
It's all about approaching their feedback with an open mind
Right.
and a willingness to learn.
So rather than shying away from negative feedback,
Mm,
you're using it as an opportunity for growth.
exactly.
That's a really powerful way to approach customer experience.
Totally.
Now let's talk about a metric that's all about those moments when a customer tries to reach you
Okay.
but doesn't quite make it. Call abandonment rate.
This is the one that keeps call center managers up at night.
Really?
Every abandoned call represents a potential missed opportunity.
Oh, wow.
A customer with a need that went unmet, a potential sale lost.
Right.
Yeah,
And in a competitive market,
especially.
you can't afford too many of those missed opportunities.
No,
I imagine high abandonment rates can also be pretty demoralizing for agents.
you're absolutely right. Imagine being an agent who's working hard to answer calls, but you're constantly seeing those abandoned call numbers tick up.
Right.
It can create a sense of helplessness,
Oh, yeah.
like you're fighting a losing battle.
Right.
That's why it's crucial to address the root causes of high abandonment rates,
Okay.
not just for the sake of the business,
Yeah.
but for the well-being of your agents as well.
So it's not just about the numbers.
Right.
It's about the people behind the numbers.
It's about the people.
That's a really important point.
Absolutely.
High abandonment rates, I imagine they often stem from issues we've already discussed.
They often do.
Long wait times,
Mm-hmm.
inefficient processes,
Yep.
maybe even a lack of alternative contact options.
Absolutely.
Addressing those underlying issues can have a ripple effect,
It really can.
improving not just your abandonment rate, but other key metrics as well.
Totally.
It's all connected.
It is.
Now I have to ask,
Mm.
are there any common misconceptions about these call center metrics
Oh, there are.
that you'd like to debunk?
One big misconception is that these metrics are only relevant to call center managers,
Okay.
which is not true.
Interesting.
The truth is these metrics tell a story about the entire customer journey,
Okay.
from the moment they first interact with your company
Right.
to the moment their issue is resolved.
Okay.
Understanding these metrics can be valuable for anyone involved in marketing,
Uh-huh.
sales,
Right.
product development,
Makes sense.
really any aspect of the business that touches the customer experience.
That's a great point. It's not just about what happens in the call center.
Right.
It's about understanding the customer's holistic experience.
Exactly.
I'm curious, what's one key takeaway you hope our listeners walk away with today?
You know, for me, it's that these metrics aren't just numbers on a screen.
Right.
They're a reflection of real human interactions.
Yeah.
And by understanding what these metrics measure,
Uh-huh.
how they're connected,
Right.
and how to use them effectively,
Yeah.
businesses can create a more positive experience
Right.
for both their customers and their employees.
Their customers and their employees.
It's a win-win.
I like it. It's like we're looking beyond the data points and we're seeing the human stories that they represent.
Yeah, exactly. And those stories can be so powerful for actually driving positive change within an organization.
Yeah, this has been such an eye-opening conversation.
Yes.
I feel like we've really gone from call center basics
Yeah.
to like a much more nuanced understanding of what drives success in this world.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure diving into these metrics with you.
And to our listeners, we hope you're walking away with some valuable insights
Yeah.
and maybe even a few aha moments.
Yeah, a couple of those light bulbs going off.
Right.
Yeah. Remember, the next time you interact with a call center, whether it's a seamless experience or one that leaves you wanting more, just think about those metrics that we've discussed. You might even find yourself mentally scoring them on their FCR
I know, right?
or their service level.
Absolutely. You might be surprised by how much attention you start paying to those little details
Right.
that can make or break a call center experience.
Definitely.
And who knows, maybe you'll even be inspired to share some of these insights
Yeah, pay it forward.
with the businesses you interact with. That's the power of knowledge, right?
It is.
It empowers you to not only understand the world around you,
Right.
but also to potentially shape it for the better.
Absolutely.
So next time you're on a call, remember there's a whole lot more going on behind the scenes
Yeah.
than meets the eye. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and most importantly, keep those calls coming.
Talk to you soon.